Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, this would be nothing. I mean, seriously, this would be nothing. So we're about 14 minutes away from the release of the NFL schedule, and I, for one, cannot wait to see the rest of it. Here's what we know so far. We know that the Dallas Cowboys will be opening against the New York Giants, as always, and it seems like every single year it's Giants versus Cowboys. So we've got that, as usual. Hopefully we can get that monkey off our back since we lost to them twice last year. And what we also, it's been rumored, is that we also are going to be playing against the San Diego, God, I will never get that right, Los Angeles Chargers. And I put up a video a little bit ago about that whole game. I mean, that's just ridiculous. We'll probably have a great game with the Redskins versus the Giants. You know, basically we hope that both of them knock each other out because, you know, that game definitely has implications for us. The Lions game is pretty much a, oh, thank you. That's Michael, my son. The Giants game pretty much, the Lions game is pretty much when we all eat dinner. Eat it early so that way we watch the Cowboys. And you look forward to a great game for the Dallas Cowboys. However, this year, we got doo-doo. That's right. We got Chargers versus Cowboys for Thanksgiving. And I don't know what the hell the NFL was thinking on that one. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy with a voodoo doll and a day job. So how's everybody doing tonight? I hadn't originally planned on doing a live stream, but figured, you know, since we've got this going on, let's definitely do one and see what you guys think. What's good, shit's bag? Okay. I'm Michael and Son. Okay, just like the HVAC company. Mr. Chips, the big payback. Yeah, I hope so. Not too much, Miles. Robert A. Man, nice to see you. Carlos. Great to see everybody joining in tonight. Today was kind of a big day for the Cowboys. We ended up signing Robert Barton, and I probably butchered his name up like I always do. It's just one of those things. I'm just not good with names, okay? I remember faces, I remember plays and all that stuff, but I did have quite a few concussions, and sometimes I'll say Rod Martinelli a little too often. But the thing that bothers me, and I just put up a video about this, is immediately how people will go through and they'll condemn a guy before he's even stepped foot in the Dallas Cowboy uniform. Because you never know, he may be a bum. You don't know. But it could be the system that he's in. It could be the guys that are around him. It could be the coaching. There could be another many reasons why he didn't succeed where he is. Doesn't mean that he will or won't with the Cowboys, but I look at some of the people that we brought in on defense. Hey, Sarah, nice to see you here. Benny, Robert A. Man, Bill B., Letitia, all my favorite people are all here tonight. But when you look at some of the guys that we have brought in that have been journeymen and things like that, guys that are backup players or practice squad players, and turn them into productive players, well, all of a sudden, you start looking at that and realizing that they're taking guys that were on the cheap and are actually able to make them good players that fit our system. David Irving is definitely one of those. He was a guy who was a practice squad guy. Most of you guys probably didn't know who the hell he was when he was signed on the team. But you see what he was becoming towards the end of the season, you know, defensive player of the week, you know, getting a couple of sacks, 12 quarterback hurries, I think, in 2 games, you know, becoming an impact player. Well, thank you, Jesus, or Jesus, from Mexico. Thank you for joining. Jobu Sports Report is growing all over the place. We got friends in England, Mexico, Canada, Germany. I start looking at some of the statistics, and we've got people from across the world that are Guam. Who the heck watches football in Guam? It must be American soldiers. Chargers old mixed, but okay. Yeah, it's Chargers. Again, that's going to be the suckiest matchup on Thanksgiving. Do I miss Romo? How could you miss Romo? Because he hasn't really played for 2 years, and he's in the news every single day. So no, I don't miss Tony Romo. Okay? Here's the thing about football. You got to understand. The thing you really and truly have to understand about football is that Jobu will need a refill. That's the first thing you got to get. But football waits for nobody. It doesn't matter who you are. Football continues to roll on. You can be the best running back in football. You can be the greatest quarterback. You can be the best defensive end. But Father Time is going to catch up with you, and the team goes on. And it's a harsh business because you're the toast of the town. You are loved by everybody. But when it's over, it's over. And I remember, I've been truly blessed. I'm not going to lie to you. I could die tomorrow and say, you know what? I have done some great things and I have no regrets. I was fortunate enough to have blocked for Roger Staubach. We were at they were like, yeah, okay, you're old, but you're not quite that old. No, but we were at the Hall of Fame, and we were going to be doing a commercial shoot with Roger Staubach. Roger Staubach, being the guy that he is, and Dak Prescott reminds me of him. He was supposed to sign autographs for an hour. You know, it was basically a big event where they had all these Hall of Famers. You had me, Joe Green in there. You had Franco Harris. You had Roger Staubach. And people were paying like $350 to be able to go into these tents and get these autographs. Well, Roger was scheduled to sign autographs for 1 hour. He signed for 2. And the lines were the longest for Roger Staubach. But Roger had to come and do the photo shoot and things, and he had to come from the tent to inside the Hall of Fame down the basement where we were set up. And as soon as he walked out, it was like flies to doo-doo. People literally swarmed Roger Staubach. Can I get a picture? Selfies left and right. Boom. You know, Roger, can you sign this? Okay. And Roger's like, you know, he knows he can't. At some point, he has to say no. And I was actually in front of him, blocking and moving people out of the way. So that's my claim to fame. I honestly could say I blocked for Roger Staubach. But the story gets even better because after we got finished with the photo shoot, I hadn't really actually talked to Roger Staubach in here because my wife said, look, this is business. You know, you're lucky that you got the block from the man, okay? So stay away. Don't be a stalker. And security is at the ready. So my wife said to him, Roger, okay, we're done. Thank you very much. You have been fantastic. Everything was great. So what are you doing now? He said, well, I rode over here with a friend, and I got to find him so I can get a ride back to the hotel. And she says, you're Roger Staubach. You can't just walk around looking for a friend. You'll be mobbed, rioted, stompled. Mark, get the car and take Roger Staubach back to his hotel.
Do you like have any kind of idea where you might go? Have you narrowed down the types of teams?
I usually am good around people. I've been around the NFL commissioner. I've been around different players. You know, met Mayor of New York. You know, I've met a lot of really big name people. But sitting next to Roger Staubach, looking at that Super Bowl ring, that first Super Bowl ring that he won, in a car right beside me, and we're talking about the pistol offense, I was about as nervous as could be. I was pretty much like, hey, that's how I literally talked. But the thing that I remember that he told me was, it's just great to be remembered. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? It's great to be remembered. You're Roger Staubach. Everybody knows you and will forever love and remember you. But the sad thing was, is there was a second tent that was set up there with Hall of Famers and Hall of Fame. And when I went into this tent, and I saw guys that I knew growing, I mean, Forrest Gregg, you know, Lim Barney, Mike Ditka was in there. Looking at this tent of Hall of Famers, 20 of them, there's nobody there. Not a single one. Nobody's asked for autographs. Now I'm there working because I would have loved to have gone through because I remember these guys in my childhood. But that's the thing about football. Once you're off the field, it's over. It's gone. It's done. It's on to the next guy. Football keeps on rolling. There are a few that, get the NFL Network gigs and stuff like that, like Dion and things like that. But for the most part, how many of the players do you really remember from the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl years? Of course you remember, Emmett and Troy, Michael Irvin, Charles Haley, But do you remember all of those guys that were there? Some of those guys could walk up to you now, like Tony Casillas, Chad Henning, and you probably wouldn't know that they were a football player. So anyway, I'm sorry, I digressed on Tony Romo. We are 3 minutes away from NFL Network releasing a schedule. I've got the TV on over there, and we'll see what we have. I'll turn it up a little bit here. Yes, I love it, ladies. Thank you for joining into the Jobu Sports Report. We have some very faithful ones. There's Sarah, there's Letitia that are in here. I'm forgetting people because, I've had so many concussions. Romo, please, guys, please, I beg you, Romero, stop with the Tony Romo for backup, man. That ship has sailed. I told you guys long ago, before April 17th, Tony Romo would no longer going to be a Dallas Cowboy because the team was going to start OTAs and they couldn't afford to keep the guy. Because here's the great thing. Now that Tony Romo is gone, come June 1st, we got some cash money. That's right, cash money. And you're going to see some decent free agents that are out on the market. That $14 million that we're getting for this year because Tony Romo's not there, we'll be able to use to sign Zach Martin to long-term deal and have money to sign some free agents to fill some of these holes. To me, that's more important than a guy that might play for 2 years who hasn't been able to stay healthy over the last couple. So please move on from Tony Romo. Robert, I remember. Oh God.
And at 7 a.m. every weekday, we've got the best morning show.
This is not. I don't want to talk about Tony Romo. Please don't make me do it. Terrence Williams, a star, nice date. That's another one of the ladies that have been joining in. Terrence Williams, great guy. And I got to tell you, I am actually impressed with Terrence because Terrence has gotten a lot of crap. I love you guys, but some of you guys are just straight up asses. You guys will throw a player under the bus in a heartbeat. And Terrence Williams is one of those guys who has been thrown under the bus. Yeah, he's had a brain fart. Yeah, he's made some mistakes. But who out there hasn't made some mistakes? I know Tony Romo's made some mistakes, but it doesn't seem like anybody ever wants to throw him under the bus. I know Jason Garrett has made a hell of a lot of mistakes, but nobody's throwing him under the bus. But you look at the production that he has had in his time here. He's a great number 2 receiver. He's not a number 1, but he's a great number 2. And that guy signed a contract that was dirt cheap. He could have gotten about $25 million contract on the streets, but took 17 for 4 years to be here with the Dallas Cowboys. To me, that's a guy who says, you know what? Money's great. But right now, I feel something special with these guys. Winning here is important to me. So we had DeMarco Murray who said, you know what? The money's better. I'll go to Philly. I don't care. Pay me. And you see how that worked out. So I applaud Terrence Williams. I look at the videos of Lucky Whitehead, who is working his ass off because it's not acceptable his season last year. He wants to do better. What's up, Blake? Oren? He's using his feet. Okay. We gave Vic a second chance. Okay. I don't know where Michael Vick came in the conversation, but okay. Hopefully the NFL fires punk ass referees like, oh yeah, well, we'll see. It's 8 o'clock. All right, so here we go. It is actually on NFL Network. Let me turn it up a little bit more. Let's see if there's any new releases on it.
I think you have a short week.
It's a walkthrough Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's it. We didn't have the Thursday night games when I was.
No, but, you know, that whole Thursday night game. You know, First Take stole my idea on that. What I had said, if they want to fix Thursday night games, which are terrible, the way you do it is you add a second bye week to the season. One, it gives the NFL an extra week of football that they're going to profit from. And then you make sure both teams have a bye week before playing Thursday night. And it's even bigger win to the NFL because they can say, hey, we care about our players. We don't want them to play on 3 days rest. No. We're going to give them an extra week of rest before they play. So that gives teams time to prepare, time to heal, and gives them time to have a good game. So we're not looking at crappy matchups that are just sloppy, ugly games with players that look like they can hardly move. You know what? Any of you guys that are looking for Tony Romo love to come back and all that, you might as well find another channel. You're not going to get it here because Tony Romo, that ship sailed, guys. Let it go. You guys are as bad as Stephen A. Smith, you know, who can't stop talking about Tony Romo.
Let's start here, though, with our guys.
First
thing you look at when that schedule comes out as well.
Yeah, well, the Raiders, you know, we played them in preseason as well as during the season, so that's going to be interesting. The complete schedule is out on NFL.com. Let me go up to NFL.com and see what we've got. We all know we've got a tough schedule right now. Going by win-losses last year, we have the 10th toughest, but, you know, that's always up to interpretation. A lot of teams that are good last year won't be good this year. But at the moment, it looks to be a tough schedule. And here we go. Okay. You got the Chiefs and the Patriots Thursday night, opening up the season. And there's my son Michael.
No, the Broncos have a harder schedule than us.
Yeah, well, it's on paper it does. And the Dallas Cowboys, of course, play Sunday night football against the Giants. So that'll be interesting. All right. We got Steelers getting lucky. They get the Browns, the doo-doo Browns. Okay, now how do we get to second week? That's week one. Where's second week? Oh, here we go. Second week. Let's actually. Duplicate screen. And we'll put it up here. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. Michael, that shirt is not the best of look for you. Okay, what do you see it on?
It's going by because I can't see my shoulder.
Yeah. Okay, where is my computer? There it is. Computer, here we go. Okay. All right. So week two, who do we have week two? Oh, it would help if I plug this in. Sorry, guys. This was kind of last minute here. And at some point, I'm going to have another computer set up for this permanently. Okay. Week two. Week two, the Dallas Cowboys have. Still week one. Week two, here we go. Okay, it's still showing week one. Okay, so we have a brain fart on here. For some reason, it won't go to week two. Okay. Because I keep clicking on week two and keep saying week one. Okay. You go to week three. Week three comes up. Okay, week three. I don't know why, Mike. I keep clicking on week two, but it stays on week one. We play Monday night in week three against the Cardinals. Ooh, okay. And my son says, try it again. And watch, boom, we click on two, and we still get NFL week one. NFL has a bug on their site at the moment. Okay, let's go again. Boom, and it still says week number 1. Okay, so week 3, we have a Monday night game against the Cardinals. Week 4, we play the Lambs at home. Okay. And week 5.
Now, my question is, how many games do you think we're going to win?
We play the Packers at home in week 5. That's good. Okay, I'll take playing them at home. A rematch. Week 6, we have the Dallas Cowboys on a bye week evidently. Damn, we got our bye week early. Okay, so week 6, we've got a bye week early. I kind of like having those bye weeks later in the season to kind of give you a little bit of period to do the stretch run. Week 7, it seems like we have a lot of home games to start out with. We play at San Francisco after a bye week. Okay. All right. Week 8, we play the Redskins in Washington. I'll be
They're
there.
doing it on TV too, so you can see week 2.
Okay. Well, they're behind me.
Oh, yeah, you can
All
see
right.
week 2.
So we're up to week 9. Kansas City at Dallas. I'm getting kind of nervous here because I think we're going to have a lot of road games to finish the season. So I don't think the NFL did us any favors. We got the Falcons at Atlanta on week 10. So we got that road game. We got the Eagles at home in week 11.
So the Chiefs, we looked at the potential home opponents for week 1. We said that might be a juicy matchup.
We're playing Chargers on Thanksgiving, of course, at home.
The NFL will choose to kick off the season. Should be an excellent game. Nobody here yet.
Basically a second bye week after Thanksgiving. Oh, catch up now.
In week 9, if you're a coach, that's what you like. 8 before.
We play the Redskins.
Catch their win because after that,
Okay,
they
it's
go
getting
to
interesting.
and then they go to Mexico City.
I think we got the Eagles one more time in here someplace.
That elevation for these Patriots, Bill Belichick and his staff will surely take that into consideration as they figure out how to prepare.
We'll play the Giants, so we're definitely playing all the division late in the season. Week 15.
Thursday night football, you asked, but we're kicking things off week 2 with the Texans and the Bengals. The Bengals
Sunday night against the Raiders. Okay.
Rookie head coaches for the Rams and 49ers week.
Don't mind that one on the road so much. I think we got a good chance in that game. Week
and then you have a good one here.
16,
Kansas City
Seahawks at home.
Raiders. Man, that's gonna be
I think we're going to have an edge on that one. I think Seattle is getting old,
NFL Network, Amazon,
that they've been picked apart. And to finish the season,
the Titans at the Steelers, the Redskins and
Cowboys at Eagles. So we open up with the Giants and we end with the Eagles. Well, not an easy schedule at the moment. Doesn't look to be one. I don't think it's as bad as it could be. We've got, of course, the Giants early. We got the Eagles late. I think actually the easier games on our schedule will be actually against our division opponents. We got Seattle at home. We got Green Bay at home. So at least we have those at home. And we have the Falcons. And the Falcons I actually think are a lot like us. With the exception of we have a better offensive line and a better running game. But I look at their defense who played well, but you kind of have to look at that as being a little bit skewed because of the division that they're in. Carolina was crap. Tampa Bay was okay, but Tampa Bay beat them. And then you look at New Orleans, and New Orleans is a shell of what they used to be. Okay.
We play Eagles.
Yeah, we play the Eagles week 2. Okay. So, yeah, that's the only other one we didn't say. So, Eagles week 2. So, we've got the NFC East up early. Let's go to Dallas Cowboys.
Which division winner from last year is most likely to repeat in 2017? The AFC West, Kansas City Chiefs. From the NFC East, the Cowboys. NFC South, the Falcons, or the NFC North,
the Cowboys are going to have to come out the gate playing, and hopefully they'll have a chip on their shoulder when we go against the Giants, because we got to get that monkey off our back. That's the one that's been the killer. Okay, gotta love the ads. Give me the schedule. Okay, so let's look at it exactly.
This 2-hour show back to you, Dan Hill.
Sunday Night Football, Giants, week 1. No, we play the Broncos. We play at the Broncos. The Broncos, week 2, 4 o'clock kickoff, or at least here. Then we play against the Cardinals Monday night, so that's 2 primetime games. Then we play the Lambs, 1 o'clock kickoff. We play the Packers at home, and then we have our bye week, week 6. So that bye week is really early, so it's going to be a long stretch run. But looking at the first half of the season, that's definitely not an easy road. I mean, you got the Packers, the Giants, the Broncos, and the Cardinals. If we can go 3-2, 4-1 at that stretch, that would be a great start to the season. Then we got the bye week, and then you got the 49ers and the Redskins. You know, you definitely should win those 2. You got the Chiefs at home. That won't be an easy one. They got a great defense. You got the Falcons, and then you kind of have a bye week with the Eagles. Did I say bye week with the Eagles? Okay. Let's see what some of your comments are here. That's what I'm saying, Victor Butler. Come out the gate, whipping ass, and take an egg. Yeah, it's going to be a tough schedule, but here's the thing. Cowboys are going to be a tough team, too. So I won't say that we're going to win them all, because we're not. But I'm not going to say that we're going to go in the basement. However, you know, I like to look at the history of football, and unfortunately, nobody's won the NFC East since the Eagles did it in 2003, 2004, back to back. So that's always going to be tough, and we're going to have to buck the trend. But we're going to have to come out the gate healthy, come out the gate playing gangbusters. The thing I feel great about for this season, for us starting out, is right now in the offseason, we're really healthy. Something we normally aren't. You know, usually we'd have DeMarcus Ware getting some work done on his back or his shoulder or something. Tony Romo, his back or collarbone. You know, we've got DeMarcus Lawrence who had back surgery. We got Tyrone Crawford who had shoulder surgery. Other than that, most of the other stuff is more small, nagging stuff, with the exception of golf storm. Okay, so for the most part, that offensive line is healthy. The receivers are healthy. The quarterback is healthy. The running back is healthy. The defense, we've lost some parts, but we've added some parts that I think are still pretty decent, that are going to help the team. We still have the draft, and as I was pointing out, you've got that second wave of free agency that's coming up around June or right after the draft, when guys start getting released because teams have drafted a guy to replace him. So don't fret just yet. And the other thing I was saying is, make sure you guys don't get him a guy who just got signed, who hasn't done anything here yet. Let's see what they do. Let's support these guys that are Dallas Cowboy players and see what they can do for us before you say he's a bum. He might have been a bum in Tampa Bay, but maybe half the team in Tampa Bay was a bum, or in Jacksonville, or in Cleveland. Give the guys a break and give them your support. I guarantee you, when you think positive, more things, good things happen. I know in my life, I'm nothing special, but I have a positive attitude, and I believe things can happen. Sometimes not, they do. But I know when I'm negative about stuff, it doesn't put me in the right state of mind to be successful. So think positive, spread that mojo, and then if shit happens, deal with shit when it happens. That's the way I live my life, and that's the way I think all of us should try to do. How is this bandwagon? Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me turn down the TV here because I was going to listen to NFL Network. Okay. You know what, Cold Web, the thing you got to understand is those guys on NFL Network and everything else, they're looking for the topic. And everybody knows If you talk about the Dallas Cowboys, you're going to have one or two reactions, and both are positive for you. You're going to have people say, yeah, I love exactly what you're saying because you hate the Cowboys. Or you're going to have guys that say, you know what, did you hear what that asshole said about the Cowboys? Either way, you're getting people that are clicking. So it's a win-win for you. That's why everybody always talks about the Dallas Cowboys. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, they all know they're getting paid because of the Dallas Cowboys. You think they tried the same stuff with Jacksonville or Oakland or anybody would even watch? No. That stuff is made for TV, made for ratings. That's why they do what they do. That's why Stephen A. Smith just keeps one-upping, going crazier and crazier and crazier. You know, coming out with his videos about Tony Romo. You mean Dak Prescott must think he's got some really small shoes? You know, he can't stay off the weed. And I guarantee you that tomorrow Stephen A. Smith will say, I bet you the Dallas Cowboys take a chance on that Alabama linebacker who failed the test at the combine. Because that's what they do. That's what they do. Because they can't stay off the weed. Yeah. Trainwreck television. That's why people watch. I haven't been watching the comments there, Sarah. I'm sorry, mister. So we got Omar, who's a Dak hater. I don't understand personally. Maybe some of you guys can educate me, because I am a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I love my Dallas Cowboys. I've spent my money on the Dallas Cowboys. I live and die with the Dallas Cowboys. I talk about the Dallas Cowboys constantly. Think about them, dream about them, everything about the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Doesn't mean I like everything about the Dallas Cowboys. They make mistakes, and I will condemn them. I will tell you that I'm not a big fan of Jason Garrett, that Jason Garrett has blown many games, that this whole on-the-job training thing that we've been doing for 10 years with him is stupid. I can say some things about Jerry Jones that, hey, Jerry, you screwed up. But in the end, it doesn't matter who is here as a Dallas Cowboy. I may think that they're the worst person in the world playing. I may think somebody else should be starting. But I'm going to throw my support behind that guy because I care about the Dallas Cowboys. So I don't understand you fans out there that are saying that Dak Prescott's a bum and I can't wait for him to fail so that way I can say, ha ha, I told you so. How are you really a fan of the Dallas Cowboys? Because isn't your love for the Dallas Cowboys wanting them to win and succeed? So please educate me how that works. Because whether you love Tony Romo and what he did and everything else, you still should be going behind Dak Prescott, because guess what? He is the face of the franchise now. He is the guy that's going to come out there opening day to play for the Dallas Cowboys. And we will either win or we will lose with Dak Prescott. So if you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, how can you not be a fan of Dak Prescott and the other 52 guys on the team? I just don't get that. Well, you know, Jack, as far as the Giants game, think about that Giants game that we lost by 1 point. The games that we have lost not because we were totally outplayed. We lost because of mistakes. You had Des Bryant with a catch, no catch in the end zone. You had Cole Beasley who dropped one on the 5-yard line that would have been a touchdown. You had Terrence Williams who didn't get out of bounds for a field goal kick. Had any of those things happened, any one of those scores, we would have won the game. When you look at the second Giant game we played them, Eli Manning, oh my God, he should have been intercepted 6 times. We had the ball literally in our hands, and literally guys just dropped them. They were so surprised that, damn, I can't believe it's like exactly in my hands. I don't know what the frick to do with it. So it wasn't like we were just beat the hell by the Giants. They were close games that we had opportunities to win, but couldn't convert on them. And you look at Dak Prescott having his first NFL game as a rookie 4th-round draft pick. season opener, the fact that they played that well is amazing to me. So I'm not saying that the Giants are head and shoulders, because Eli Manning, I'm sorry, he is so far away from elite, it's not even funny. And speaking of Eli, the thing that I always find amazing is anything the Cowboys do is blown up. Oh my God, Zeke Elliott, he pulled out a booby. That damn Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott's boat was boarded by the Coast Guard and searched. But Eli Manning apparently is ripping people off, saying it was game-used merchandise, frauding people. You hardly hear about it. And it's interesting how we have players that leave the Cowboys, and you remember when Pac-Man left and was in Cincinnati for years, every time he got in trouble, they always say, former Dallas Cowboy player Pac-Man Jones. But the interesting thing to me is with Aaron Hernandez. The whole thing is tragic. It's tragic that he had some screws loose. There was something that just wasn't right. To have the fame and fortune and notoriety that he had and still be a gangbanger, it just wasn't right. But you don't see New England Patriots Aaron Hernandez. You see NFL, or you might say former NFL player Aaron Hernandez committed suicide. Or Aaron Hernandez. You don't see him tied to the New England Patriots the way any Cowboy who gets in trouble, it's immediately blasted Cowboy, bloom, bloom, bloom. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, Dak is, Dak, I couldn't be more proud of the guy. I know a lot of you are going to say that I am a Dak sexual or whatever, just like we have Romo sexuals, fine. But from the first time I saw him playing that Senior Bowl last year, I said, this guy's got it. And when I say it, it's not something you can measure. It's not something you see. It's just what you feel. And it's a guy who just has it, who can make the move at the right time, who can feel that pressure, the guy who never gives up and keeps his cool. And he's got it. That's why I feel great about him. A guy who can take a hit, a guy who is striving to be more and more and more, a guy who never gives up. And a lot of people will say, oh, he can't do this and he can't do that. You know what? We had games that we should have pretty much lost last year that we won. Think back to the Washington Redskins game, that first one. I was there. Kirk Cousins had a chance to go up by 2 scores in the fourth quarter. Throws a pick. Gave us enough time to go down the field. But Dak Prescott had to get that team down the field to make the game-winning score. Did that. They went down 14-0 in San Francisco. I know San Francisco sucked. But when you go down 14-0, a lot of times teams will just pack it in. But they came back and they won. He went to Heinz Field playing against Big Ben. Big Ben, a guy who doesn't lose to rookies. Big Ben, who took his team with the fake Dan Marino spike. Touchdown. And I believe it was under 50 seconds that we drove down the field. I know Zeke Elliott will get the credit because he had the run in the middle where we were actually now in field goal range. But that's just not your average everyday quarterback that does that. That's a guy who's special that's able to do that. Even against Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, where we were down 21-3. And guys will say, it's his fault that we got down 21-3. And I'll say, our defense never could stop Aaron Rodgers on third down. That Aaron Rodgers was actually back there with his chin strap unbuckled because he had no fear of our pass rush. But yet you guys will say that it was Dak Prescott's fault that we're down 21-3. But Dak Prescott battled back, even with a shitty game plan. That's right. I said it was a shitty game plan. He delivered what he was supposed to do, but they should have run the ball more. 3 touchdown passes, over 300 yards passing. Great game, numbers-wise. But it wasn't the game plan that got them there. It was running the ball. And they got away from what got them there. Jason Garrett being too cute. I'm going to throw him a curveball. We're going to go ahead and get in a shootout with Aaron Rodgers. That'll work. That'll surprise him. Yeah. So all you guys that say Dak Prescott's a dink and dunk quarterback, you don't understand what a ball control offense is. The reason you have a ball control offense is to keep the ball out of the other team's hands. I have the ball. You don't. You can't score without it. So I'm going to eat up as much time as possible and keep my suspect defense off the field. So when they do have to come out and play, they're fresh. They're ready to go. And you're playing catch up. That's ball control. Because here's the thing. The Dallas Cowboys have de-evolved, I call it. I don't know if that's a word or not. It may be a Jobu word now. But the NFL, because they changed the rules, where you basically can't look at a receiver or you're getting a flag. You basically can't touch the quarterback. It's made teams realize, okay, if I pass the ball deep, one of three things are probably going to happen, or likely to happen. A, I might complete the pass and have a big down. B, I'll get either an illegal contact and get 5 yards and a first down, or I might even get a pass interference and a big down, or actually 4 things. Or 4, I might get a roughing the passer play because the quarterback's running around there longer. So your odds have been increased at having teams pass deeper. So what happened for defenses? Defenses said, okay, we need to get to the quarterback quicker. So what you've seen is those big 340, 350-pound defensive line, they become dinosaurs. Now you see these guys like Clowney that are, 6'4", 260, that are running like a 4.5 40, because speed is what it takes to get back there against these passing offenses. Well, the Dallas Cowboys threw a curveball. They went back to old-style football, running the football with big, athletic offensive linemen. And you see the Cowboys play better in the fourth quarter, it's because those offensive linemen have literally beaten up those smaller defensive linemen. And that's how this system works. It's not that Dak can't throw it down the field deep, because he showed you he can do that with Dez on numerous occasions. But that's not the way we're going to win football. We are going to win football by wearing down the defenses to the submission. They're going to get tired, worn out. They can't rush the passer anymore. They can't zop Zeke Elliott. And that's why you don't see Dak throwing that deep. But here's the thing that's interesting, though. Because when you look at his yards per completion, it's 2 yards farther than Eli Manning and Carson Wentz. And I believe it's 4th in the NFL, I want to say. I haven't looked at the stats in a while, but last year I believe it was 4th as a rookie. And his completion percentage is way up there. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. Finding the guy that's open, not turning over the ball, keeping the chains moving, and scoring points. So where the hell is your problem? I don't see it. Because Dak Prescott's one playoff game, numbers are better than any Antonio Romo's ever had in his 6. But anyway, I digress. I'm not here to talk about Tony Romo. I'm here to talk about our schedule. I'm not going off a cliff on what we got. Actually, I think it's pretty good the way it goes. I like starting out with the division. I like ending with the division because it puts everything in our hands against our common opponents. I hope, yeah, Jalen Smith, Mark. It's just weird seeing Mark Holmes up there. It's like, did I take that? Jalen Smith could be our wild card. If Jalen Smith is anything like he was, that's going to be a hell of a boost to this defense. I still believe going to the draft, and we will be at the draft next week. So, be sure to check in, and we're going to be live streaming. And if you guys are there at the draft, be sure to send me a message or try to get in touch with me because I'd love to meet some of you guys. If Jalen Smith is anything like he could be, his potential, that's going to make a hell of a difference. And if we can go, and I keep saying this, and a lot of people keep thinking we need to move up. I personally think the best move with the amount of defensive players that are there is we make an effort to move back with that first round pick, because I believe that the difference between 28 and the middle of the second round is not that much. And if we can pick up an extra pick, that we are going to be ahead of the curve. We did that with Travis Frederick. We ended up trading with the 49ers. At the time, people said, oh, dumbest move ever. But we picked up Terrence Williams, a guy who's been pretty damn good. You know, we could have picked up one of these other guys, and I'm trying to remember who it was they said we should have picked up. I want to say it was Poe. Not a bad player, but you got Travis Frederick and Terrence Williams for what it would have cost to get that one guy. So when you start looking at the draft from that standpoint, moving back is not going to be the worst thing in the world. Cowgirls suck. Okay, so we got a troll in the house. Troll, I don't usually block people or try to stop people because this is, you know, an open forum. But what we do here, this is about talking about the Cowboys and talking about other teams and stuff. This isn't a trash talking site and all that. And if that's what you want, then you need to go elsewhere, because I don't want to ban you, but I will if you continue to go ahead and disrespect people. Because like I said, this is not what this channel is about. This channel is actually having real conversations about football and things like that. So if that's what you want to do it elsewhere. I won't ban you, but if you continue, I will. We will do that then, okay? Because apparently you don't want to listen to that. Okay, so back to the real fans. Well, Jack, you know, that's been my philosophy all along, because here's the thing. When you look at some of the first round draft picks that have been picked that you think are going to be all that in a ham sandwich and they end up being busts, I look at it as this. No matter where you draft, it's a 50-50 crapshoot. You move up, you're not only risking that one player, you're risking all the picks that you put out there to get there. RG3 was a 4 draft pick guy. 4. So they lost 4. 3 number ones and a second. That should be 4 guys that should be starters and cornerstones of your team. And there's so many players that you end up picking up. These forecasters can't predict more than 50% of the games every week. So how do they think they're going to figure out what guy is going to be the next Hall of Famer, the next great quarterback? None of them thought Dak Prescott was going to be anything. None of them thought that Russell Wilson was going to be anything. But guess what? They were. Everybody thought that Vince Young was going to be great. RG3. Jared Goff. Guess what? They were wrong. Yeah, again, I still haven't seen anybody figuring out how to explain to me the hatred for Dak Prescott. I hate to say that some of it might be a color issue. And I'm sad that it is that way. You know, you guys know I'm old. I am so old that I was the first class actually integrated when I went to elementary school. I remember race riots. So it's not that long ago. You know, my parents grew up in segregation. My mother was bused 30 miles to a school because there was only one black high school in Northern Virginia. I had to be born in D.C. because at Freeman's Hospital, because there wasn't a black hospital in Northern Virginia. In fact, my brother was born in the car on the way to Freeman's Hospital because they couldn't stop off at the hospital. As a 51-year-old man, that race is still an issue. Because, you know, I live here in Washington, D.C., and I was sitting at the Smithsonian the other day. I love my new job. It's hard, a lot of long hours. In fact, I had a 14-hour day yesterday. I work at the Smithsonian Art Museum. Beautiful building, built in 1836. And it had a courtyard that they put this glass roof that undulates, and it's absolutely stunning. And I'm sitting in a courtyard having lunch. And I'm just looking around at the people, the faces. I see black, I see white, I see Arabic, Asian, Hispanic. To me, I see America. Are there some bad black people? Yeah, there's some good ones too. Are there some bad white people? Yeah, but there's some good ones too. As with every race, creed, and color. At some point, you got to stop looking at people by color. You got to look to a person for what's in their heart, the way they treat others. And until you do, we're never going to get over this racism. Because what you got to understand is this. Everybody can teach you something. I don't care if it's a homeless man on the street. You can learn something from everybody. And the thing that made this country great, it wasn't Native Indians. It wasn't white people coming from Europe. It wasn't slaves coming from Africa. It wasn't Chinese that were coming from China. What it was all of us coming together with different experiences, different skills, different ideas and concepts, and blending that together to get the best of all worlds. And we have to get back to that and realize that. It shouldn't matter that Dak Prescott is black, even though actually his mother's white and his father's black. So he's kind of new people, which is kind of like what we all are, new people. Because as we kind of intermix the stuff, we're really kind of all becoming muddled together. So get past this Dak Prescott, the black quarterback. He's a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. That's it. Flat out. Yeah. The guy that says, yeah. You know, and it's, unfortunately, Jackie, another one of our great women that are in here, and like Letitia and Sarah and all that. I love the women that come on here. Thank you. I appreciate it. You definitely brighten all of our days. You can show all kinds of highlights, and I've done it over and over again, where Dak Prescott is lighting it up down the field. But in their mind, they've heard and stuff say so many times, or people say so many times, he's a dick and dumb quarterback, even though statistics don't bear it out, even though his play on the field doesn't bear it out. It's what you hear so many times over and over and over, you begin to believe it. So sometimes at some points you just got to say, okay, you believe what you want to believe. I'll deal over here with the facts. Chris, I agree with you. All I care about is us. Romo's, okay. Wow, it's been almost an hour already. God, you know, I'm amazed at how fast the time flies when I'm with you guys. You know, here's how, Victor, we as Cowboy fans are spoiled rotten. Here it is. We got Dak Prescott, Rookie of the Year, quarterback. And yet, Cowboy fans, some of them aren't satisfied with that. Think about the Cleveland Browns, who every year seem like they draft a quarterback, and every year the quarterback ends up getting worse and worse and worse. How'd you like to be that guy or that team or a fan of that team? Look at the Texans that spent $75 million contract to get Brock Osweiler there, and he's ended up being a bust. They traded away thinking they're going to get Tony Romo, and now they're sitting around, we don't have a freaking quarterback. You think those teams would be complaining about having Dak Prescott? I don't think so. A fourth-round draft pick quarterback that isn't even costing $1 million a year. You got no right to complain about anything. Look what the Rams gave up for Jared Goff. The draft picks. The money. Dude can't play. I said it last year. The dude can't play. The Washington Redskins, how many quarterbacks have they gone through? And they're still sitting on the fence on whether or not to keep Kirk Cousins. He's still a free agent. Franchise tag twice. He'll probably hit the road next year. So how is it we have room to complain about Dak Prescott? I don't know. You're right, Ricky Lee. If Dak wasn't a Dallas Cowboy, yeah, he definitely would be. And the scrutiny that he was under week after week, pass after pass. There were some of you Cowboy fans after a slow start in the first quarter ready to say, where's Romo? What? Come on, guys. What? Really? It's like there was no quarterback that ever had a bad quarter other than Dak Prescott? Are you kidding me? Russell Wilson had a game he threw, what, 6 interceptions last year? 6? I didn't hear him calling to say, hey, they need to bench that guy. Dak didn't have 6 all season. So, well, Carvel, they only talk about the Cowboys because they're the Cowboys, most popular team in the NFL, and you're going to get one of two responses. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it, but you're going to talk about it. And that's what everybody wants. They want you to talk about it. So with that being said, we've been on for almost an hour, and I am actually tired as shit. So I'm actually going to go to bed early tonight because, I'm old like that. So I need to get my rest. Definitely need some beauty rest. And as you can see, I haven't had any. But I'm actually really, really proud because I do a lot of different things. I love to cook. I can build anything, as you see, like this whole setup right here, or if you've seen my man cave, all the cabinetry and woodwork in the bar and stuff are all things that I built with these hands. But I also like taking pictures and stuff. And I found out today that United Way is doing a whole NFL schedule that they do every year for, the whole schedule stuff. So they give them out a nice little fold-out thing. It's really cool. They took one of my pictures to put onto the back of it. So from time to time, I'll see stuff that I've taken pictures of and realize, oh my God, I took that picture. That's advertising something for something, somewhere. So I'm really proud about that kind of stuff. I'm proud about the way this channel has gone, and you guys being, being here and everything else, and feeling like each one of you guys are my friends, except for the trolls. So I feel very, very proud about all this stuff. Oh, thank you, Letitia. And I'm with you, Jackie, that, I'm glad that Tony Romo is not there as a distraction, and constantly the minute that Dak has a bad play that they're going to say, Tony Romo should come in. You got a Pro Bowl quarterback sitting back there. So I feel real good about all this stuff in here, and I feel great going into the draft, and I feel great about the Dallas Cowboys this offseason. So, friends, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, it would be nothing, and thank you for the support. Still working on the shot glasses. Hopefully, before May, or before the end of May, we'll have them. So I will see you guys soon, and I'll let you know what's up with that as soon as it happens. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.